Most of the time, I used to tell people that if you see anyone who was a president or a governor, even a senator that did not loot the treasury of the people he's representing or the state or as a nation, you know that the person is a good man. Now, the EFCC released 58 names of ex-governors who allegedly looted 2.18 trillion naira. EFCC released 58 ex-governors' names who allegedly looted 2.187 trillion naira. Now, EFCC have received petition and they have investigated that these governors looted this money. Now, they have to go to court before court can convict these people. That is why they are saying allegedly. So EFCC have confirmed that yes, these people truly looted this money. They looted the treasury. So they just published their name. So this article is from Vanguard today, and it reads, if the allegation of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, were anything to go by, no fewer than 58 former governors have looted, embezzled, laundered, or misappropriated the sum of 2.187 trillion naira in 25 years. This figure excludes seized properties across the globe and those under probe, like Yaya Bello and others, which run into billions of naira. The 2.2 trillion looted is equivalent to the Lagos State 2024 budget of 2.25 trillion and the entire Southeast State's 2024 budget of 2.29 trillion. It is several billion higher than the North Central State's 2024 budget of 1.89 trillion and Northeast 1.60 trillion. The 58 governors the EFCC is probed, investigated, and prosecuted are drawn from all parts of the country since the return of the civil rule on May 29, 1999. Now, let me just take my time and read out the names of these governors for you. Now, it says, the 58 former governors who are having or have had brushes with EFCC and alleged amount involved include late Abubakar Audu, 10.9 billion. That is what the man embezzled. T.A. Oje and Sons, 551 billion. Yahaya Bello, 80 billion. Chimarioke Namane, 5.3 billion. Sullivan Chime, 450 million naira. Kayode Fayemi, 4 billion. Ayo Fayoshe, 6.9 billion. Abdullahi Adamu, 15 billion. Danjuma Goje, 5 billion. Aniu Wamako, 15 billion. Sunday Lamido, 1.35 billion. Joshua Darie, 1.1 billion. And Timipre Sylvia of Bayelsa, 19.2 billion. They are also Saminu Turaki, 36 billion. Ojuzokano, 7.6 billion. Bendo Matewande, 70 billion. Lucky Benedion, 4.5 billion. Musa Kwakwanso, 10 billion. Peter Odini, 100 billion. John Day Nyeme, 1.6 billion. James Ingilari, 169 million. That one owns more. Abdulaziz Yari, 84 billion. Godswill Akpabio, Senate president, 100 billion. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, 9 billion. Andimodu Sherif, 300 billion. Windy Obiano, 43 billion. Jesus Christ. Ibrahim Dakwambo, 1.3 billion. Darius Ishako, 39 billion. And Ramadan Yero, 700 billion. Others include Achike Udenwa, 350 million. Richards Okorocha, 10.8 billion. James Ibori, 40 billion. Deputy Senate President and the Mieye Senya, something like that. The name is difficult for me. 2.6 billion. Gabriel Suswan, 3.111 billion. Samuel Loton, 10 billion. Motonda Nyako, 29 billion. Rashid Ndadoja, 4.7 billion. Christopher Andeo Akanda, 11.5 billion. And Abdulkadir Kure, 600 million. The rest includes Babangida Aniu, 4 billion. Abubakar Audu, 10 billion. Idris Wada, 500 million. Ibrahim Shekaru, 950 million. Adamu Andero, 10 billion. Osman Dakingari and wife, 5 billion. Atahiru Bafarawa, 19 billion. Jonah Jang, 6.3 billion. Aniu Doma, 8 billion. Tanko Almakuru, 4 billion. Bone Haruna, 93 billion. Bindo Jimbril, 62 billion. Adamu Muazu, 13 billion. Isa Yuguda, 212 billion. And Mohammed Abubakar, 8.5 billion. The petitions against some former governors are hazy and figures were not attached. Now, did you see the name of P2B in this article? Absolutely no. That is to tell you that this man is absolutely clean. I'm not saying this because I just want to say something, but look at 58 ex-governors were in the list that EFCC are going to probe. Some of them have died. Your Senate president is there. Your Senate president looted 100 billion. Your Senate president is there. Somebody like Otom and the rest, all of them, they are there. I know that there are also so many governors that their names are not here. But I just want to use this as an example that when we tell people that this man P2B is a very, very clean somebody, people should believe us. Now, you must have seen this video of Mr. P2B visit in Canada, where he answers so many important questions that you would like to hear. So take a listen to this video and also listen to his speech.
In the end, first is, for me, is gratitude. I came to thank all of you who are Nigerians, especially for sacrificing your time, which is the most important, your resources in supporting the process in Nigeria, especially last year's election. Some of you made phone calls, some visited, some spend their time talking. All this is very important. And for that, I do not take for granted. Whether you supported me or you supported another person, you were part of it. And I urge you to continue. I'm sincerely grateful for that. And that is my number one reason. May God Almighty continue to reward you for that effort. For the organizers of this event today, most of whom are the organizers in the past, I thank you. And I urge you to continue. And I've listened to you said you're now going to have a policy think tank. I urge you to continue in that direction. And let it not be a Nigerian thing. It is very important. Because often we'll start a noble thing, and because of our transnational life, we end it somewhere along the line. It's just like all of us who are involved in politics. You know, I always say to people, nobody is claiming to be a saint, but I always urge people, can we be a little bit consistent in what we do? So, again, gratitude for you to stop starting this, and may you continue. You know, I was telling you this evening, I said, every day in life I learn, I meet good and bad people. And I take note of the good ones, and I take note of the bad ones. Because it's very important as you go along. Nigeria is bad because we are bad. If we live the life we preach, it will be good. But we say something else and do something else. That's why it's not working. You know, if all of us, if more people, and that's what we're trying to change. And change doesn't come easy. I listened to my brother talk about his experience. And it's a good experience. You've learned a lot. You know, we learn it every day. And everything. You criticize something, you say this is wrong, and everybody takes it. So for me, it's not going to be about capacity. I'm going to talk about capacity building in the end. But since you said you're starting a think tank today, let me tell you what happens in Chatham House. They don't really want to listen to your lecture. They want you to answer their questions. It is their question that shows what you're doing. So I think I will reverse it. People didn't come here, I'm sure, not to learn about capacity building. That you can just find the definition. They probably want to answer questions and get it answered. Because I I know capacity building will do a lot to Nigeria, but there's some more other important things that can do more. So maybe we'll start with question and answer. If you will agree, we'll go direct to the questions people want to be answered, and then we'll talk about capacity building in the end. Or do we start the other way around? Whatever you say is what I'll do. Thank you. So let's go and ask the questions. No, if you collect the questions, you won't be able to answer the ones that are not good. I want the people to speak up and say you're not a human being. So I can answer them why I'm a human being. So yes, when they collect questions, they remove the ones that they don't want you to answer. The people are
Val,
here.
please.
Let's take their questions.
Val,
Yeah. Thank you. Just a few, not
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everybody. I'll just be straightforward and brief, okay? Mr. Peter Obi, Indian community in Canada, the Chinese community in Nigeria have proven that there is strength in unity and you can achieve more when you work together. Now, we know the peculiarity with Nigeria. We know the issue. I salute you for your confidence in going for the election last year. But what are you doing, sir, to bridge the gap among all the ethnic groups? Because with all due respect, okay, there seems to be this apprehension towards certain ethnic groups in the country. What are you doing to bridge that gap, not just among ethnic groups, but among political parties? Similarly to what Tinubu did when he was able to bring people from CPC, AMPP, part of ABGA, PDP, and ACN to form APC. What can you do in that aspect so as to gain the power at the center? Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. The question I want to ask is, where do you think, in your opinion, where do you think we got it wrong at the last election, and what do you think we can do differently to, get the change we really all desire in the country?
thank you.
Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My question is, we know in the last election, the INEC came up with an excuse that there was a glitch for the INEC server. And now on the next election will be coming in 2027. What are the plans in order to make sure that this kind of excuse doesn't come up again? Or if at all it comes up, how do you tackle it? Thank you.
Your Excellency, my question is still related to the last election. And very importantly, I'm sure I'm not the only one who observed that there are a lot of external influences on our election system. Specifically, I'll mention an interview that the former President GEJ granted, where he expressed his displeasure at how America influenced the outcome of his own election. He specifically named the former US president. We also saw similar situations play out in the last election. My question is, how are you, as a candidate who is most likely going to stand in the next election, making efforts to lobby these external forces or to align them to your own side of the political struggle? It's a very pertinent question, and I would like to have answers to that. Thank you.
Your Excellency, one more. So I'm taking all the questions from here. Next time it will be this side.
The last one.
Thank you. So my question is very simple. Will you keep contesting till you eventually win? Because we've seen people, even our last president contested 4 times. People still keep contesting 5. Yeah. So is it going to be your case, or will you just, thank you.
Okay, Your Excellency.
Well, let me start. First question talked about ethnicity and religion. Quite frankly, we don't have that issue. Ethnicity and religion is a clear marginalization of the elite, greedy group, the establishment, to keep us where we are. It is something that was born out of incompetence. When you're not doing well, or when you want to do a state capture, you bring it in. Because I don't know any ethnic in Nigeria that is not suffering. Tell me which part of Nigeria is secure today. Tell me if there's any ethnic group that buys bread cheaper. Tell me if there's any religion that buys bread cheaper. If the Muslims start today to sell bread cheaper, I can tell you the Christians will go to the mosque and buy the bread. Vice versa. So it is what we used to continue keeping Nigeria where it is. Because we have refused to use the proper process based on competence, capacity, compassion to select our leaders. So they hire all sorts of tools to tell you, I'm from here, I'm from there, I'm from there. Is there any road that is tarred in Nigeria that is good, that only one ethnic group passes? No. Is there really any part of Nigeria that is working than any ethnic group? No. Is there education and everything? The North has been in charge for several years. That's where we have highest out of school children. You can enrich 1 or 2 people, which will not work because you're trying to just build a system where people make money without entrepreneurship. So there's no production, it will collapse over time. For me, they know we need to dismantle it. I have support all over. And they know that once that starts, so for us, once you remove, that's why I keep saying, we must dismantle this criminality. Yes. If you know any tribe, people, you can tell you, oh, we're this is happening, we're that, this is happening. But at the end of the day, that's it. I was just telling someone today, I said, listen, Abuja is in the north. You can't drive from Abuja to Kene. Can't drive from Kene to Auchi. Can't drive from Auchi to Benin. That is not in my area. But there's no road. Somebody said here it was someone told me today it's from Boma. And I said, hey, wait a minute, there's no, so you can go on and on and on. Nobody can go from Enugu to Makurdi or Makurdi to Abuja. You can't go from Kanu to Medugri. So they're everywhere. I try as much as possible. I drove from Kaduna to Abuja, from Kanu to Kaduna to Abuja just a week ago. To just cross Kaduna Ring Road took us about 2 hours. It doesn't make sense. And these are the tribes that have been in power. So forget about tribe, forget about religion. It is purely a tool employed by the establishment, the criminal gang that has led Nigeria for one place. It doesn't work. That I can tell you. And they know that we would have dismantled it. I can tell you it will be dismantled. Once you bring competence in, they go away. All these things will go. Because it's not helping anybody. Somebody told me today about state creation and whether we'll get this, why people look for more local government. I said because we have established a system of sharing, not a system of creating. So once you're sharing, people bother about number. But when you start creating, everybody disappears and goes back to do his work. Where did we go wrong in the last election? We didn't go wrong anywhere. We did the right things. But like I always tell people, when you bring a change, you fight for enemy all those who live off the old order. They don't go away. They gang up. So, and we're not don't think it's a sprint race to remove establishment. It's a long distance journey. Everywhere it's happened in the world. Go and check everywhere, whether you're looking at what happened in India with Mandela, in America, everything. No change has come overnight. It takes time. And I urge all of you, if you really want change, we've just begun. We just have to continue to where we are. If I tell people, and I say it every day, what I go through, you ask me, why are you still in this thing? Why are you still doing this? Why do you say I have to bother? But I'm in it. And I don't intend to change. You see, every now and then you see agencies of government, tools of government, even when I'm not running an election, calling me them every day. They now organize town hall meeting just for me. No problem. It doesn't bother me. Let's keep doing what we're doing. We did well. And we should be proud of it and continue in that trajectory until we're able, yes, there might be one or two things. We'll correct them. The things we'll correct. And I assure you we're correcting them without naming them to be able to. But it's not going to be easy. We're going to do things. INEC server was same as the establishment. The server won't work because the establishment had made it that it won't work. So it is us to continue to say it will work. There was no glitch. Amazon came and said there was no glitch. Amazon glitch is noticed globally, is recorded globally. And as at that period, we even brought the Amazon person who says these are the number of glitches we have since inception, and there was none that was reported that day. So we know it didn't report. It was the glitch of the establishment of criminality that is in the system, and we must one day make it work. So we know there was no glitch. So you talked about the external influences. There's no external influence. I don't need to lobby anybody. I can tell you that I went to several meetings outside Nigeria. Do Americans come to Nigeria when they are running an election? No. Do Kenyans come to Nigeria? I will not go to any country. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm running to serve Nigeria. Why would I go and lobby anybody? I'm one person who says, if I'm in office, we will stop foreign aid because we don't need it. God gave us everything. We don't need to waste anybody's time. I said it today when I was in City Council. Nigeria have everything it needs to be a super country. God gave us everything. I don't need to go and lobby anybody. Just need to fold our sleeves and work. It's as simple as ABC. We don't need anybody. I have governed the state. I didn't leave the state. Things were bad. Before I became governor of Anambra was known for bad references and everything. In fact, it was named Home for All. And I came and said, there's no place called Home for All. And we changed it to what? Light of the nation. And we said we'll be first in everything. No longer are we going to be using bad reference. No quarrel, no nothing. And we face the work. Say from education, from health, from this, from that, fixing our small roads and everything. Somebody asked me today about, I said, I didn't start any new road. Maybe one or two. That I fixed the ones that were existing. Completed the one my predecessors from Ngike to everybody started. That's what we should do. We don't need any influence. We want external relationship. In fact, let me tell you about international relationship. The more developed, the more you dig in and do the right things, the more you earn your respect internationally.
Yeah, that's true.
China didn't start by coming to beg America. Neither was Vietnam, neither was India. Today, India is being celebrated. These are countries few years ago that were stuck in underdevelopment. If you don't know, within what we're talking about China, India today, between year 2000, which was just yesterday, and year 2015, China put 439 million people out of poverty. India did 260 million out of poverty. Today, those two countries, the biggest in population combined, Nigeria is almost having more people in poverty than two of them. It cannot happen. All we need is to have people who are sincere and dismantle people from stealing public money. We can't continue like that. We have oil. We have gold. We have everything. So where are we going to beg people who don't have those facilities? No. We don't need their aid. We need people to tell you. When I became governor, by influence of somebody called Professor B.C. Nwosu, he asked me to go and see certain people. He's still alive. I said, I won't see them. I'm contesting to be governor of Anambra State, and I'm not from Anambra. And when I became governor, I used to quarrel with people who were not happy with me. If you know that the elites in Anambra, even till today, are not happy with me. And it's not that I know it, because I go to see a president then who tells me, Peter, nobody is happy with you. And I say, Mr. President, I didn't promise people happiness. I promised to fix school. I promised to fix school. I promised to fix health. I promised to, because the only thing that would have made them happy is to give them public money, which I'm not ready to give anybody. And that's it. You know, so and I can assure you that if I had won presidency, people won't be happy. The elites will not be happy. That's why they ganged up, because they know what will have happened and everything. People were not happy. So it wasn't about people's happiness. I get warned, and I say it every day. I get warned when people tell me, not even the female, not even the women, not even my wife. I always say my wife, whenever I said people are not happy, I said, you're not happy equally. Because I shut down office of First Lady. I said it shouldn't exist. Because nobody voted for you. You're just my wife and I love you. So you start home with me. It is me who they voted for to deal with this matter. And with that, you know, because I found out we were going to spend more money for an office that has no value than education. How? How did we get here? So, there's no external influence. It is us. The influence begins with us as a human being. I told people in Harvard that one of the reasons people want to know why I went to so many schools, I wanted to know what I asked them in Canada today. I said, what is your best university? I go to different places. I want to learn. I was in City of Brandon to learn, just to learn. And I was shocked that the person who was teaching me what I wanted to do was a Nigerian. So they don't have different brain. So why are we going to go to them? We'll talk about their influence. It is us allowing this. And finally we said, will you keep contesting? Well, I can tell you, I'm not desperate to be president of Nigeria. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work. Because they can work. So, if I find those who can do it the same way, if I find those who can do it, what I can do, what I do, of course I will encourage them. I've been part of a system that is working. I've seen systems work. What I want to see is Nigerians who don't. Have you wondered why Nigerians are so religious, yet things are going wrong? It's because they don't believe in God. They actually talk, but they don't believe in it. Because if they do, the story will be different. They will have conscience, they will have compassion, and they will do the right things. But I've seen people do the wrong thing consistently while preaching. So for me, it's not about me. It's about us. How do we get it to go right? It is not very difficult. Nations after nations have done that. Why can't we do the same thing? It's as simple as ABC. Tell me the problem you think is the greatest problem in Nigeria. And I tell you that it can be solved. Because we're not the first people who have solved it. We're not the first people who have victim of criminality. It was all over South, call it America. From Colombia to Mexico to this to Brazil and everything. It's been solved. We're not the first country to be immersed in poverty. It's been solved in other countries. So if they have done it, we're not the first country who did not have power. It's been solved in countries. Then everything. I was just quoting in Tanzania last week. If you follow my tweet, Tanzania last week had to shut down 5 of their facilities because they have overcapacity in electricity production. Tanzania, they shut down five facilities because they have overcapacity. They have more than they need. So what is wrong with us? That in 20, 30 years, we're stuck in one place because the establishment don't want us to go, and they root it in tribe. Is there any tribe that have electricity, my brother? No. Show me where they have 24 electricity, and we'll go there and live. So it's not a tribal thing. Or show me any religion where even a church that the electricity is 24 hours in Nigeria, church, and we all go there and worship. It is nonsense. We must dismantle this criminality that is today.
Please, questions from the women now. Women.
Your Excellency, my name is Amina from Gombe State. I married from Taraba. My question is, there was this saying that you started getting to the grassroots late. Are you planning to start getting to people, especially people from the north? The problem of the north is when you start from the top, the minor tribes that are there, they will not be able to get the help. And even if it's given to the top, they will give it to their own religion, and other religion will not get it. So they continue donkey years. People are still, there are a lot of places, no light, no even water. They still drink water from the stream. So I hope you look onto on that. Also, next time you're coming to Canada, we'd like to see the First Lady, so that we will have women to mentor. Thanks.
That's a question for His Excellency to answer.
Okay, so I'm standing on the existing protocols. My question is around, the incident from the last election where we found out that some booths were not well covered by the Labour Party agents. So my question is, what strategies are you looking to put in place, like in the coming election, to make sure that there's a widespread of Labour Party agents? You're still going to be in Labour Party. Then are we hoping also to see like a collaboration or a merger with other political parties? Because it's going to be very difficult for you to unseat the present government or the present administration. So this is my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have question for Mr. Peter Obi. I just want to say thank you very much for giving Nigeria youth a lot of hope and encouragement. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Hello, Your Excellency. Thank you for your presence here today. I just have a question in terms of what advice would you give Nigerian youths in the diaspora and at home, like in terms of they've lost hope based on everything. I know that we have the same sentiments as people, but what would you advise us in terms of how to support our community back home? Thank you.
This is a very good question. How many of you here know MC Danfo? MC Danfo? If you know him, you know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
No, it's for him.
Good evening. Thank you, Your Excellency. I have two prompt questions. The first one is a personal one. You've said a few things. One is about the criminal enterprise in Nigeria, about how difficult things are. I'm wondering, how do you keep going? Can you tell us what keeps you going in this work that you are doing for which you're not being paid by anybody, but you've been doing it now for at least since 2021 or 2022, and you've persisted in doing it since after the election. So that's the personal question, what keeps you going? The second part is kind of policy related, and that has to do with the security situation in Nigeria. I just came back from Nigeria last week, and I couldn't travel between Owerri and Nsukka for security reasons. So are you able to tell us, not the detail, but give us some idea of maybe how you think you would have handled the security situation in Nigeria that is keeping people from moving and conducting even ordinary commerce? Thank you.
Actually 6, not 5.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
First question is the issue of grassroots. You started with the grassroots late. Well, maybe yes and no. Because if it was voting, people voted for us. But the system refused it. And I'm also beginning to reach out to the grassroots, like you said. I'm sure you must have seen me in the north and everything. But I'm not visiting the grassroots because of vote. I'm visiting them, or the next election, I'm visiting them because I want to learn. When you say we have 20 million out-of-school children, you're actually talking about 20 million productive people that can change the world. Countries like Gambia, just 10 million people. Netherlands is 17-something million people. I can go on and tell you countries that are not even up to 20 million. There's so many of them that are not even up to 20 million. So it becomes imperative for us to look at what is happening to them. And I went to study and learn about the Almajiri system. And I found people of incredible talent. I spent time in Almajiri school watching young people learn Quran, sat with them and watched them. And I saw doctors, lawyers, engineers, everything. Because the same talent they're using to learn the Quran and analyze it is all they need. What they needed was what we call Sharia system of education. So for me, since they can't go to school, if I have the opportunity, I'll take school to them. Where they're learning the Quran, I'm going to put English teacher, mathematics teacher, science teacher, everything there. And I can tell you before they finish learning the Quran, they also have learned something. We're not the greatest Muslim country in the world. Indonesia is there. The difference is that Indonesia have over 90% secondary school enrollment. We have 28%. The difference is that they belong to the high portion of human development index. We are low. So what is lacking is available to us, and that is the grassroots. And I'm reaching out to the grassroots. I want to change them. I want to help them to be better people because they can help us to change the world. Not because they want to vote for me. Like I said, for me is to get Nigeria to work. And they're not just going to be engineers and everything. We need productivity. Productivity today. I believe that today Nigeria can change from the north. We can make more oil work for us, but I can tell you, the north will generate more money, more resources for us than oil. So I'm reaching out to them as much as I can, and of course, we'll discuss the First Lady next time. All I can tell is that she's okay, there's nothing, we're living together, we live for 30 years together, and I think we'll live together for the rest of our life. But issue of, for now, we want to save Nigeria. Thank you. Somebody said, Labour Party agents were not in all the booths. I agree with you, because we started, you know how we started and everything. There's so many lessons we learned. Somebody asked about lessons we're going to correct in the future. I won't stay here to tell you those lessons. Whether we are going to collaborate with people, if the need be, yes, of course. People, collaboration, I'm collaborating with you people. You are actually the biggest collaboration we need to be able to dismantle what I'm talking about. We're going to work with everybody who thinks the same way we think, who wants to do the same thing we're doing. Our collaboration will not be based on transaction. It will be based on transformation. People have to be thinking the same way we're thinking. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. If you go and collaborate with people who don't think the same way, or those that can easily change, because there's some people who can change and believe in what you're saying, you can collaborate with them. But if you collaborate with those who don't believe in what you're saying, you're going to have a problem along the line. I always say to people that I want to drive this bus, I want us to be in the same place with people who are going to the same destination with us. Because if you go and carry people who have passed their destination, you have a problem. And that's not what we want to do. We want to do the right things and everything. So party, we will change certain things and we'll collaborate. It is important. And you said thanks for the youth and what somebody asked about the advice of the youth. Let me be honest with you. We're doing what we're doing for the youth because we want to save ourselves. You can't pick with your children anarchy and think you'll be safe. The reason why we have insecurity today is because we didn't invest in our youth yesterday. It is those people that were left and abandoned that have become a problem to us. If we have invested in them, the right education, the right things, the North is far unsafe today than the South. Because they didn't invest in education. They didn't invest in training those people. So if you leave these people abandoned, you're actually not saving your life. So what we're doing is investing in them to save our lives and for our children to live in a better society. Yes, you're in Canada. You live in a better society. But I can tell you, in terms of Nigeria, you're also one of the biggest losers because your children won't come back there again. They don't want to be associated. Who wants to go where there's insecurity? Somebody just said he could not go because they don't want him to go to Enugu. They want to go to... So if you don't go, do you think your children will ever go there? Do you think they'll come for your burial? No. I've heard people who say, listen, just bury my dad. I wish him well. So what you're doing is that you're investing in your future. And a youth asked me, what do I think about the youth? Yes, you're right. My advice to you is that you came from a country called Nigeria. Chinese people live in Canada. Well, they're proud to be called Chinese people. They've never abandoned China. They're still Canadian Chinese or Chinese Canadian, whatever you call them. Indians are here. They've never abandoned India. They're still proud to be saying, I'm an Indian. So are Vietnamese, so are Philippines, so are everybody. Everybody is still happy to say, I'm from here. And if your own is not bad, so you can, in your own little knowledge, and when we talk about capacity building, that's the word capacity building. People say to me, what is about capacity building? It's using that knowledge you learn from here, that exposure, that belief, and translating into not thinking about his tribe or his religion. I can tell you, whenever people tell me about religion, what I tell them is, and I'm sure I've said it here in Canada, Dubai is thriving. If I go to Dubai, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. I go to St. Mary's, I think St. Mary's Church in Dubai. The Catholic Church in Dubai, the land and the church was built by Emir of Dubai. It's written there. He gave them the land, built the church. So why is our own different? So it's even encouraging that diversity. It's even encouraging that situation because it makes society work. The biggest mosque in Europe, no, well, I don't know, maybe I'm correct, but one of the biggest is in London. It's a land given by the Queen. The Queen is not. So it is, why would it be? I'm not scared of anybody in Nigeria. I believe that we're same. I always introduce myself as a Nigerian. I don't believe there's any part of Nigeria that I don't love. We're Nigerians. For me today, I want to invest in the North. I believe I can pull Nigeria back from the North because they have all the resources. Our biggest cause of our inflation today is food. We have vast uncultivated land in the North. If we cultivate it, we can feed Africa. We can feed everybody. You see me in my tweets question why should Ukraine have more grain than Nigeria? Our land in the North is bigger than the entire Ukraine. Ukraine is about 603,000 square kilometers. And the northern Nigeria is bigger than Ukraine. So the youth, I urge you to be part of this change. It is necessary for us. Well, what do you advise? Advise, okay, Nigerian youth, okay. And then it comes to finally the security situation in the country. There are so many things you need to do to reduce the security situation in Nigeria. We have insecure countries all over the world. And I don't think our own is peculiar. We just need to focus on it. We just need to deal with it. We can't allow non-state actors take over a country. You might as well declare war. Nations have been in war. We've seen corruption in the security system. We've seen under manpower and everything. There's no way, if you come to Canada today, and as we are here now, if anything happens here, there's nothing unique that gives perception there's security in Canada. You know what will happen if anything goes wrong here now? You probably see 6, 7 police vehicles running around all over the place. No, I'm just telling you. What does it do? Perception. That we are ready to deal with this. Then if you say that there's school, God forbid, school shootout down there. Tomorrow, the Prime Minister, everybody will arrive there. That is the sense of that. We want to deal with this. You motivate people and say, we can't take this. I won't have this. And deal with it decisively. In our country, it doesn't happen. And finally, how do I keep going? Just like I urge you to keep going. I've said it before several times. It's too late. It's not a long story how I got involved in politics. And since I got involved, I don't want to go away again. I wasn't a politician. I was like every one and each of you. I never voted from the day I decided to go and contest governor. If there's anything in my life that I never knew it was possible, is to go near politics. If there's anything that have made me lost a fortune where I would have been in life, it's politics. But then, everything I've had is by His grace. And it's by His grace that He takes you to where you don't want to go or where you want to go. I've said it before. I joined politics from going to schools. In my little life, I've been to various schools in my life. I didn't have a privilege of coming to school in Canada, but I've been to trainings from Harvard to Columbia to Kellogg. I'm a Kellogg scholar. Somebody asked me just last week, said, Peter, how are you an alumnus of Cambridge, Oxford, IMD, Kellogg? And I said I was actually going to know whether there's something in their brain that is different from our brain. But wherever I go, I found out that our brain might actually be better than their own. And I asked myself, so where are you not doing better? But in Kellogg, I met a man called Professor Donald Jacob, the Dean of Kellogg Graduate School. This was in 2001. He took us on a course called the World Economy. Since you wanted to know, let me explain it to you. And he taught us for 3 months. He never mentioned anything about Africa. A day before his last day, that is the last day he will retire from Kellogg. He came into the class and the whole hall was full. The whole of Kellogg Graduate School hall was full. And I said, Dean Jacob, you haven't said anything about Africa. He said, do I want to know about Africa? I said, yes. I paid $40,000 for this course. And you haven't talked about my country. Dean Jacob, I went to live there. I'm going to live with them. So the reason why, because you asked this, we were low in education. I could visit those schools, people in Anambra State, twice, 3 times. And I would say to people, these two, they don't have anything. Who is from where? You won't believe it's the same school. To get admission there. Where are you from? That could feel it. When schools change and know the names of the school, look at their face. When I had poverty, when I do things and everything, he always tell me, say, Peter, no. It's not about stay. And it's not because he did it with me. You see where I said everything. He said, Peter, but it's not. And he will always ask me, say, but it can change the life of somebody in my village. Sleep. It doesn't matter, I can sleep here. It's just me. I'm in the best place, I will be awake. So there's a big man. I said, well, you pay. We drove together to his village. And I said, 5,000. You could see the joy in their face. That's what keeps me going. When you see those poor people, that's all they are suffering from. They didn't do anything by going around preaching to people and saying, we have to change. I wouldn't want to go on and question because you have something you want to do. Help them to run their Chatham House. You need to be able to learn to do. It's about capacity. Whether you're talking about people, sports, everything, the people, maybe in school, I went to see a Jamaican over there. As I said, athletics and everything. It was actually, they were earning more money than they did. So many things you talked about, Easter's or New Year's in prisons. And I tried, You won't believe it. How getting goes. So even if you, because we have not it, so we get the more you. It's from Taraba, 54,000 square conducive place. Make he got to this there and every part of Nigeria. So for me, when we talk about especially happen, I'm not a saint. What I always say here is that there's consequence. Right? No thief sees. I wasn't under any obligation. Everybody every day and everything. But life continues. If that money was still today, it wouldn't. It was me. Imagine if I had 100%, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So, but these are sacrifice. Sleep well and come and be listening to this. Who don't sacrifice today, like he's doing now, go back there is worse. So I think don't work hard.
Thank you.